War and peace start in the hearts of individuals. They start at the level of the human heart. And perhaps the peace that, strangely enough, all beings would like to live in peace, but the method for obtaining peace seems over the generations to not really be in sync with attaining peace, because we seek peace and happiness by going to war. And this can be at the level of our domestic situation, our relationship with someone that's close to us. And maybe we come home from work and we're tired and we just want some peace. And at home, all hell is breaking loose for one reason or another. So we start yelling at people. But what is our motivation? Our motivation is that we want some happiness and some ease and some peace. But what we do is we get even more worked up, and we get everyone else worked up too. This is a really familiar scenario in the workplace, in our homes, in our neighborhoods. When we're driving cars, we're just driving along and someone cuts in front of us. And what happens? Well, we don't like it. So you could say, we want some ease, we want some comfort from freedom, from this feeling of getting roiled up that's just happened because someone cut in front of us. So what do we do to achieve that ease or that peaceful state that we would like to have, that sense of okayness? Sometimes we roll down the window and scream at them, but in some form or another, we get all worked up. So what I'm saying here is that it seems like war is the result of hardening our hearts. And it seems like we harden our hearts really easily in minor ways, and then in quite serious major ways, such as hatred and prejudice, that we harden our hearts really easily whenever we feel uncomfortable. It's so sad, really, because the motivation for hardening our hearts is because we want some kind of ease or freedom from the distress that we're feeling because things aren't going our way. Someone gave me a poem the other day, and it had a line in it. The line, I thought, was a definition of peace, and that line was, softening what is rigid in our hearts. Softening what is rigid in our hearts. To me, that's the definition of peace. Softening what is rigid in our hearts. And you could say that a definition of what causes war, if not a definition of war itself, but definitely the seeds of war, is hardening our heart. So I think what I'm saying here is we can talk about ending war, and we can march for ending war, and we can do everything in our power to end war. But war is never going to end as long as people's hearts are hardened against each other. And really, if it only ended with a hardening of a heart, and then you saw that that's what you were doing, and then you wished to soften what was rigid in your heart, then there would be no problem. But what happens is a chain reaction, and it happens to every single one of us. And I'd be really surprised if you didn't know what I was talking about. And that is, something occurs. It can even be a mosquito buzzing. and you tighten. And if it's more than a mosquito, or maybe mosquito is enough for you, something starts to shut down in you, and the next thing you know, imperceptibly, the chain reaction of misery begins, and that is that we begin to fan the grievance with our thoughts. The thoughts become like the fuel that leads to war. If you want to say war could be that you smash that little teensy-weensy mosquito. But war, I'm also talking about war in the domestic situation, war at the office, war on the streets, and also war between nations, war in the world.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.